middle of the 70s, there's a comedy troupe called the Firesign Theater, and they're kind of goofy. It was kind of fun when you're in high school. They had one episode that was called "Everything You Know Is Wrong."
James, how did you find Carnivore?
National Geographic, the Inuit used to be called the Eskimos. Like, how do they live on blubber? How do they live on basically seafood? And then they'd have a thing on the Maasai, and they eat what they catch and drink the blood. I'm like, they look pretty fit, but that's crazy. And I used to follow, I'm a musician, and I used to love the Grateful Dead. I wasn't a Deadhead. I didn't go to the shows. I went to a few shows, and I liked the music because it wasn't, they were interesting. This back in the 80s and 90s. And this is a good one because this guy named Owsley, Augustus Owsley Stanley, he was basically the godfather of the whole psychedelic culture. He made everything. He moved to Australia, and I found him in an interview. I'm like, wow, there's Owsley. He's Australia. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm into carnivore. And it's great. And it's talking like what we've been talking about. It's like, it works. And he's just like, I can't believe people aren't going to give it a try. I'm like, wow, this guy's like, you know, the smartest guy in the room, really, if he shows up. So I was like, all right. And then I just tossed it aside. Basically, I've been a what's for dinnertarian. What do you got? I tried vegetarianism for long stretches. I was into yoga, late 70s, early 80s. And so you got to be a vegetarian if you're doing yoga, right? I didn't feel a lot, but I was young. And you're young, you get a lot of, especially certain body types, metabolism types, you get a lot of slack. You make a lot of mistakes and, you know, not balloon out or drop dead. But how did I get into carnivore? I think 4 years ago, let's go back about 7 years. I decided I'm 66, going on 67, just before 60. I'm like, I got to get in shape. I do music and photography, so it's physical work. And it's just a day after a hard gig, I just like 3 in the afternoon, I need to take a nap and pass out for an hour. Like, this is not good. So I got into hiking, hit some hills. I got another photographer friend, it was great company. And I got into shape. You know, I was doing 5 or 6 miles, but everything wasn't feeling any better. I still have these ups and downs. And the thing that got me looking online, because I wasn't getting any answers, was a thing called golfer's rash, otherwise known as hiker's rash or Disney rash, where you get sugared up and then you go out and exert yourself or walk around all day on a golf course or Disneyland or hiking in the hills. Both ankles, left ankle in particular in the back, it didn't hurt, but it just looked, you know, leprous. And topicals weren't working. So I was just reading and reading and reading. I found this guy, Vinny. He's the no sugar, no grain guy. And I was like, this is getting close. I read in a comment, somebody said, oh yeah, I had golfer's rash and it went away when I cut the carbs out. So, and I found, you know, basic keto and all these people doing keto out there. And a lot of things worked for a lot of people, weren't working for me, but the rash went away. And after a couple of months of just kind of free for all keto, I quit eating bread and pasta and potatoes, but I was doing the giant salads, and which don't work. This is kind of a hodgepodge keto, but it worked. And then you just keep watching people. I think Dr. Westman, he's kind of the gold standard. He doesn't get all excited. He doesn't have his photograph on on a various line of keto specific products. so help me, he hasn't shown up, with the shirt off, showing a six pack. I mean, it's just the regular doctor I had when I was a kid. And his demeanor, you want calm, cool, collected. People get excited and it's like, what are you going to sell? What are you trying to sell me? I've recommended him to a lot of people. And I say, if you need some day-to-day inspiration, go see Dave Mack. Yeah. Truly. I just thought it comes with the territory. In your 60s, you're going to fall apart. The gut, I was like 188, I think, as heavy as I got. But I'm 6'1", and it kind of fit. And I was like, well, it's not as big a gut as most of these fellas I'm hanging out with. I was not trying to lose weight. It was that rash. It was just like, God, this is bad. I got to try something, and it worked. And somebody, I was playing a gig, and so I was like, dude, you lose some weight? It's like, yeah, I cut off my ponytail. It's like, no, man, your gut's gone. I wasn't weighing myself, and I weighed myself like, wow, I'm shrinking. I have cancer. No, I feel fine. But the other thing I was worried about when I was doing keto, and it's like, well, this carnivore thing, these guys been doing it for a long time, and they're looking pretty good. They seem pretty happy. Anyway, getting to carnivore, I've been edging towards carnivore for the past 4 years. The thing is that I had this kind of reflux thing. I'd get a big, healthy bowl before I got into the keto carnivore program. But, oatmeal, that's healthy. Not. That was giving me the reflux thing. I'd have a couple bites and woo! And I was just thinking, God, so I probably shouldn't be eating greasy stuff for breakfast. I'm like, I'm going to make bacon and eggs, see what happens. And it's like, wow, no problem. I can, eat till I'm full. All the bacon and eggs I want, I'm fine. No gut ache. Yeah, feel great. Against years and years and years and years of advertising, conditioning. It's all advertising. Everything you learned off TV, right? Growing up. So yeah, no, especially knowing I'm going to do this interview, is like, okay, I've been strictly carnivore. I think I have a pickle now and then after I have my steak, bacon. And I'm a real basic carnivore. I mean, it's bacon and eggs, a bit of sausage. I get a slab of meat, carve it up, steak and eggs for dinner with a little bacon if I feel like it. Salmon once in a while. I've tried to like fish. I'll get sardines, which are so good for you. Cook up some bacon and eggs and carve them up and stick them in there and whip it up and knock it down. Okay, I got my omega-3s today. I'm good for a month. Yeah, I do like salmon. I'm not crazy about fish. Yeah, bacon and eggs, steak and eggs. It's real basic, real easy, and it costs about the same. You cut out all these organic veggies and save a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're eating twice a day?
Pretty much. I had musician DNA, musician hours. It was basically breakfast and lunch and a snack before I sacked out. So yeah, lunch and dinner. I mean, that just comes natural. No effort at all. That was easy. Yeah, I was pretty much doing that anyway. Cup of coffee, go out and do stuff in the morning, come back, and I had a good appetite then and eat till I was not hungry anymore.
See, I'd imagine, with the lifestyle of a musician, that this would be a good way to eat because it's quick and no thinking and preparation involved. You just cook and done, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, got it down to about 12 minutes for the cooking part. Yeah. I would love to be one of these gourmet kind of people. I'm not. I mean, I get a recipe and, it's like, yeah, it tastes a little different. It helps that I'm not fussy. I mean, I'm like a car. I had a car that needed premium gas once. So I was like, put premium in it and go. And more activities oriented than, it's hard on foodies, people that you grow up in this culture and we're advertised to go out and have all this variety and all these different nuts. I don't eat nuts anymore even. I pretty much, you know, they just turn into snacks. So it's like, goodbye. Yeah. Basically, if I have a steak and it doesn't, I get a little more room, I cut up a salami. Pretty cheese. I mean, I have a little bit of cheese. I still drink coffee with cream. That was one of those things, the bulletproof coffee. I tried that for about a month. I'm like, I'll just put real cream in it, and too much of a bother getting the MCT oil and all this stuff, and putting butter in coffee. It's like, no, don't want to mess up good coffee.
Yeah. And it's one vice that you still got. I'm back on the coffee as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that fits in the spectrum. I can't cut everything out. It's I just enjoy my coffee. By the way, it doesn't keep me up at night. I sleep. I go to bed when I go to bed. Sleep 6-7 hours. I'm fine. It was musician era. Go out and get, I don't know, ham and eggs, and eat the pancakes that came with it. The carbs were keeping me awake. Truly, I mean, I figured that out. I was like, got the carbs and I sleep better. Yeah, so everything's better. Everything's better. I had back spasms. I play a gig. I sing and play harmonica. I set my arms up, boop, boop, boop. And I was always had this upper back stuff. Just for years. It's gone. Yeah, touch wood.
How long did it take before you noticed that?
I don't know, maybe 6-7 months. Truly, I'd get spasms. I would just do something, and I'd get, it's kind of the same 3 places. If it's the lower back, oh God, I'm done for a week. It'll be a week. Yeah, it's just, and I was more active 4 or 5 years ago than I am now. I mean, I get out and walk in the morning and ride my bike and do basic stuff, but I don't go to the gym. If I'm on hold, I got to call somebody. I got some 5-pound weights. Hi. I'm just saying, I lost all this weight. I've kept it. I'm about 158 to 160. And I'm not doing anything special workout wise. Stuff I do, it takes a bit of energy. It looks easy, but it's like, 3-4 hours of music and loading your gear and unloading your gear beats you up. My recovery is so much better. You're saying?
I was just going to ask regarding the music. So where are you playing? Are you playing around clubs or what kind of places?
Barbecue joints, my favorite. I'll take my pay in brisket. Thank you very much. No, they pass. Clubs, played a place called the Guild Theater on the peninsula here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Play festivals. Mostly, it's a gig or 2 a week. Mostly restaurants. No more 9 to 1 in nightclubs, and yeah, that's pretty much over. 6 to 9 seems to be the new 9 to 1, at least in my musical demographic.
And have you got a particular genre of music?
Oh, I sing and play harmonica and play blues. Yeah, you're in Australia, right? You're in Australia.
I'm an Australian in Japan.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to do a tour in Australia like 30 years ago with a famous blues guy you never heard of. And he got sick and we never went. So kind of bummed. Yeah. I have cousins in Melbourne. So I visited them back in the 80s. That was real nice. But it's been 40 years since I've been there. We're still in touch. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Melbourne's my hometown. So
yeah. Oh, cool. Peter Schipperhain. He does big sculptures, and some guys built big marble sculptures. He's got somebody's mug on the side of a building. I mean, that kind of guy. And he's a total vegetarian, and he just wants to rip me. I'm like, dude, your body's falling apart. You should try this. Says, oh no. So
yeah,
leave him.
So
I love Pete.
How I imagine in San Francisco there's quite as well as other major cities in America, there's probably a bit of a push towards plant-based or veganism. Is that the case?
Oh yeah.
How is that for someone who likes being a carnivore?
I'll just say, well, I'm a reformed vegetarian. You'll get over it. It's just sort of a live and let live. Is actually my acquaintance. It's very amicable. Yeah, I don't give people a bad time. I was vegetarian when it was not the thing. It was like, you're a weirdo, man. I was in the travel business in the 80s. I'd get on a train and, what's your vegetarian dish? And it's usually a grilled cheese sandwich, and I'd write them a letter. So you, my vegetarian friends, that there's a vegetarian option on, when you travel. I'm one of those people that made it happen with my snippy letters. I'll tell you, I'm a lot more cheerful.
You're a vegetarian when it wasn't popular. You were, a carnivore when it's not kind of, it's not acceptable. So it's kind of you're on the leading edge of the unpopular thing at the time.
I'm a congenital contrarian. I mean, I just born with, I can't help myself. You got to keep an open mind and try things out. And once in a while, my mind actually opens up a little. You get stuck in a way of thinking. You got to double down on it, even if it's not working. It's just a natural thing.
The golfer's rash went away. You've lost some weight. Back spasms, that improved. What happened with the reflux? Did that stop?
It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. No, that's another thing. I really didn't. I had one objective. It's like, maybe this will clear up this condition of my skin. That was all I was thinking about. And the keto, you get great results with it. I'm just finding carnivore, I'm lazy. Carnivore's even easier. And I like it. I mean, it's agreeable with my system. There's other things that changed. Number two was a little, just, wow, where'd all this blood come from? That hasn't happened in 4 years. Getting rid of the carbs. It's just, from this end to the other end is better, immensely better. I mean, I tell people this stuff and they're like, yeah, right. I'm like, it's really like that. And it's just kind of, okay. I was going to write some talking points down, but I didn't. But I remember middle of the 70s, there was a comedy troupe called the Firesign Theater, and they're kind of goofy, but it's kind of fun when you're in high school. They had one episode that was called Everything You Know Is Wrong. I remember that concept was just sort of a little offensive. It's like, no, it's not. I'm like, maybe it is. And it's kind of what we're taught, what we're raised with, what's advertised, the constant barrage of happy people taking this drug or doing that or eating this kind of food. And it's like, it ain't like that. I mean, the whole economy is based on never give a sucker an even break. If you get people to eat this drug or eat Pringles or whatever, double down. Up the ad budget. They're going for it. We don't care what the consequences are. We're oblivious. It's just.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of take the cynical view of it, like it's all about money. But it's true about almost, in my experience, every area of life. The kind of counterintuitive way of doing things is usually the proper way of doing things.
Yes.
And I found that in an area of training that I do, I found that as well. So I was always trying to get better at what I'm training people. And I realized that kind of the standard way of doing the training was not actually helping anyone. It wasn't helping me to deliver the training either. And so I started looking at, well, how can we do this differently? And I realized that actually, if you just do the training the way that it was communication training, the way that people normally communicate, not in this fantastical, you need to write all this down and practice this and put it into this method and all that kind of thing. If you just did it normally, the way people communicate, then people learn very quickly and they understand and their confidence increases very fast. And they're all like, oh, I was scared of this and now I'm no longer scared of it. And that made me realize the reason that there's so much propagation of this other way of doing it that doesn't actually work is because that's where the money is. Because if I train them in the proper way of doing it, there's nothing I can sell them. You know, the best I can sell them is my time to do the training. So it's just, it seems that way in all areas of life.
Everyone needs to make a living. You know, if you're a potato farmer, what's wrong with potatoes?
Mm.
You know, it's, I mean, I walked through Safeway. I think you have Safeways in Australia still. Yeah, one of my cousins worked for one. Anyway, I walked through there and I was like, can't eat anything here. And this is all really not good for anybody. And if all this stuff went away, I don't know what, you know, I mean, it's just so much the economy is selling people the stuff they can't afford with money they don't have. You know, loading up on things to snack on, snack food. I don't have numbers on the sales of it, but you know, if the world didn't consume another potato chip, we'd have a healthier world. But you know, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. You know,
How is the situation in the area you live as far as health and you know, obesity crisis, that kind of thing? Is it kind of lower than the average in the States, or
no, no, no.
oh.
I do my utmost to accept people just as they are. You know, no fat shaming, none of that stuff. It's really, at this point, it's like, dude, you got to try this. You know, it's not about how big you are. I love you and I love your liver. I want to save you. But you can't. You can't. People want to talk about things. Great. I just, you know, you find something and you're excited about it and you think, wow, it really, something that actually works. And you know, I'm not buying a product with some guy's mug on the package. You know, it's just, I'm just going out and buying, you know, the 3 pound pack of beef. I'm going to try the free range thing. Anyway, I mean, you're just buying basic food and it's easy and it fixes you right up. I don't want to know. I want to know. Yeah, you realize, oh, just leave it alone. I figured out. You got everyone's, you know, we all go crazy together, but we come to our senses one by one. And it's like that with everything. And it's really hard to change. The place I was hanging out, I quit hanging out. I kind of get into it. People is like, oh, my age, about half of them are diabetic or overweight. And I'm like, dude, try this for a little while. You won't have to shoot up. You don't have to do the monitor. And they're like, oh, I want my apple. They'll have a big old pastry and an apple. I'm like, that's, when you point stuff out, I just stopped it. I was like, oh, that's like eating 5 spoons of sugar. I was like, well, my monitor will tell me when I need more insulin. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I hate to see people suffer. That's really, it's the worst and most suffering. Suffering is the result of ignorance. We need to try and never give up and try and keep improving our lives and our outlook.
It's sad when you hear that, you know, it's the machine's going to tell me when I need insulin. I mean, that's, you know, the doctor's only giving them half the story there, right? You know, the doctor could say, well, if you're going to eat this, use the insulin when you need to, or just don't eat that.
They never, as I told you, does your doctor tell you to maybe quit putting insulin into your, you know, what, I mean, carbs, you know, glucose loading your stuff in yourself? Oh no, we got it handled. All right. Yeah. On the other hand, it's you know, looking back at my own personal experience, it's just like, it's not going to get me. I mean, it just finally registered. You know, it was a slow progression of this might be something to this. And I mean, I'm no paragon, it's like everybody else. And I just had my little, all this other stuff was going wrong, but I didn't attribute it to anything until I had that one thing. Made my legs look ugly, so I had to fix that. Yeah. Otherwise, you kind of blend in,
Yeah.
Yeah. People look at your gut. Is that a boy or a girl? Not sure yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's really got to come to it in their own time, and often for people, it's often just desperation. Tried everything else, and just like that, their wits end, right?
Yeah, I mean, I actually watched a lot of your vids the last couple of weeks. Went back and was like, most of these people were, at the abyss. I mean, they were like, wow, you really got to do something. And they've tried everything else, or they just were not getting any answers. And then, something happened and they got the good word and got results. Yeah, it's huge.
So for you, is this the way that you're going to eat going forward?
Right now, why would I change? Why would I do anything different? I mean, to me, it's the easiest, most natural thing. I live by myself, so I don't have to worry about, the smell of cooking bacon. That's too bad. Air the place out. It's fine. I do as I please, eat as I want. And generally, I don't know. I have a few accommodating friends. We got like a Brazilian place. It's awesome. They bring these giant skewers of meat and they slice it. You get these little nippers. You put it in your place, and they come around with everything. 7 different cuts of beef and lamb and stuff I never thought I'd like, and it's all meat coming down the skewer. It's great. I had long hair. It was always kind of greasy after a couple of days. I cut it. It was still greasy. 6, 7 years ago. And the keto, that's another thing. It's like, no, I've not had any great hair come back, but it stopped falling out. It's stable. And it's not greasy. I don't have to wash it every day. It's just like, yeah, fine. Stays in place. I'm good. And I'm in front of people. I mean, I just don't have to worry about it.
So I had someone on recently who hasn't had a shower for about 2 years.
Yeah.
So you reckon you could do that?
I don't, it's funny. It's like, oh, my friends are going to watch this. And I want to say, oh, I don't shower anymore. Dude, I don't shower very often. I almost never wash my hair. The thing I like to do is soak my feet in hot water once or twice a week. That's a real nice thing to do. Yeah, if you have shoes on all the time, it's just, you feel it. It's just a nice thing. Yeah, get your feet get, because they're not, I know we should be walking barefoot with callus. Well, that's not going to happen. So it's, but yeah, I find it dry. My skin gets dried out. It's another thing that was advertised to us. Oh, this dilly soap, and use all these products, skincare products, because the chlorine is drying out your skin. It's, one man's market's creating another man's marketable product. It's keeps the economy going, but at what cost? Yeah. I don't feel like I have to get up and take a shower every morning, and I feel fine. I don't need that shower to be able to function.
I think one of the things that I noticed, it was pretty early on, is the body odor and the feeling like you need to brush your teeth immediately upon waking up or something like that just goes,
Well, now they mention it, yes. And my teeth, my gums. I was in the dentist. I say, well, how's everything look? It's like, stable. That's all they'll admit to. You're stable. Your gums are, they're happier. And it's like, you don't. I do meticulously clean my teeth every day, and you get a little tool and you can tell what's getting stuck in there. And there's nothing getting stuck in there anymore. I mean, they build up the bacteria, basically. It's just, I think my biome's improved. Yeah.
Nice.
I hope that it stays the same. They're all still there. So what more can you ask
Uh-huh.
for? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think the BO thing. I think my body. I like to think I smell better. I don't know, and I haven't. Girls don't run away from me still, so what's not to like? Yeah.
Nice. So James, do you have a way of reaching out to you, like YouTube, social media?
On I use Facebook for a lot of stuff. Jim Durant's, and my photography website is it's up there, jamesdurants.com. You like coastal photography and nature. There's a lot of that.
Oh, nice.
My commercial
I'll
stuff's on there. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll
Uh,
link to those below. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. I really appreciate your time.
no, my pleasure. This is the thing I've had more enthusiasm about. It's just opened my eyes up to. Basically, I'm in the geriatric years, and this has made it quite bearable. You never know what's going to happen, but it sure is. I just to get up in the morning, like, let's go. I feel good.